for the next 4 weeks, we're going to start a new segment here with the curriculum, and it's going to be called our Technique School. So we're going to take 4 weeks to dissect how we teach. When if you come into the program, you come to Akron as a freshman, how we teach you every movement from the ground up. We have 5 different tiers of how we work this and how we implement it within our team. So I'm going to start on the whiteboard today and just kind of walk you guys through that. Today we're going to do all our platform movements. So by the end of this episode, you should know exactly how we progress and teach guys how to do our Olympic cleans, whether it's a hang clean, a power clean, or a snatch. And we'll teach you our progressions and how we do that. Like I said, I'll start and I'll map it out for you guys on the whiteboard, and then we're going to go outside and go through actually demonstrating it. And then I'm going to take a lot of mistakes that I see guys make, that our athletes will make often. I'm going to give you our coaching cues, some things that we use to fix those things. So like I said, by the time you're done today, you should have a very good idea of how to teach every clean progression, whether it's hang clean, below the knee clean, power clean, and snatches as well. So week 1 we'll do all of our Olympic movements. Next week we'll do our squat variations and how we progress into teaching the back squat. Then we'll work into our upper body stuff. So we'll talk about how we teach setting the scaps, really prepping guys to learn how to bench the correct way. And then week 4 we'll go into all of our unilateral things. So this will take up the next 4 weeks of the curriculum. But I think it's very powerful and something that needs to be understood. I think way too often is probably how we should have started the curriculum, but we talk about plyometrics, we talk about how to make guys 500-pound squatters, but we don't talk about how to really create that foundation enough, and I don't think schools spend enough time doing it, okay? So walking through everybody, and we need this refresher too, which we talked about today. So here we go. So the 5 tiers that we break our guys up into, and obviously you can call us whatever you want. So tier 1 is obviously, for us, this is the first tier. This is the tier that is the bare bones that we start with. So we have our tiers here. We have 5 of them, okay? Now for us, just to get creative, we named ours after the size of different kangaroos, all right? So the smallest form of a kangaroo is a joey. So that's our tier 1. Then it's a wallaby, a wallaroo, a kangaroo, and a zip. Okay, so that doesn't have any effect on anything besides it's creative, and I wanted you guys to know that. Okay, so those are our 5 tiers. So when we talk about just our clean, all right, our philosophy is we're going to teach the clean from the top down. All right, the first thing I want to teach a guy how to do is hip hinge with the bar in his hand. Okay, so all of our tiers, our first tier, think isometrics. Okay, so I'm just going to write ISO up there. All right, so everything that we want to do is we want to start to teach these guys how to get in the positions before they pull the bar. All right, that's our main goal with tier 1, is teach guys how to get in a started position. Because if they can't start, what can they not do? They're not going to be able to. They're definitely not going to be able to finish, right? If we start in a bad position, how are we going to finish? In a worse one. Okay, so it's absolutely imperative that they get this down before they move on to anything else. Okay, so we're just going to teach our positions. So we teach a high chest position, which is really just teaching them how to hip hinge and start moving their hips backwards. Okay, we're going to teach a hang position. Okay, we're going to teach what we call the scoop position. Okay, which is the bottom position. We just call it a scoop because it works with us for coaching cues. All right, and all we're going to do is we're just going to hold this. Okay, so these different positions are all held for 15 seconds in our first progression. Okay, so it's 3 sets of 15 each. So we'll go high chest for 15, they'll go superset core. We'll do hang for 15, they'll go superset core. Scoop for 15, they'll superset core. We'll filter through that 3 times. Okay, we got just the bar for this. So there's no weight in their hands. They're just going bar only. All right. So bar is the weight. We're just trying to teach these positions, teach these biomotor patterns. All right. For them to graduate this and move on to Wallaby. You know, some of these guys, we've been through this. Obviously, some of these guys have progressed 5 weeks. They went week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, but not necessarily for everybody. There's some guys that are still here, okay? And that's what we measure. If they can't hold those positions for 15 seconds, they're not going up, okay? Tier 2, we're gonna start to move the bar a little bit, okay? But now we're just kind of working on teaching them how to shift through the positions, okay? So now we're gonna go ISO positions, but we're gonna go hang to a high to a hang, okay? So what that looks like is now they're gonna get in that hang position they know how to get into, they're gonna shift into the high, shift into the hang, and same thing, that's 15 total seconds or 5 each spot, all right? We're gonna work the ISO clean pull, okay? So this is we're still really working isometrics. We're not necessarily moving the bar yet. We're just shifting into the different positions, all right? So then we're gonna go clean pull 1 to 3 inches, which we'll walk you through out there, all right? And then we're gonna work the shift, which is where a lot of guys mess up. So that's below the knee clean to the hang position to below the knee clean, okay? And all that stuff works the same way. It's all 15 seconds. They're gonna have to hold the position in order to graduate, or they don't get up to Wallaroo, all right? Once we get to Wallaroo, all right, now our main objective is to teach triple extension. Okay, that's the number one thing we're thinking there. They've gotten they know the positions. They can shift between the different positions. Now let's teach them to do it explosively, okay? So for our Wallaroos, now we're gonna do all of our jump shrugs, all right? So I'm just gonna write this a little further down so I have more room. But this is gonna be a high chest jump shrug, okay? This is gonna be a hang position jump shrug, all right? This is gonna be a below knee jump shrug. And then we have our clean pull to the knee, all right? And like I said, I'll demonstrate all that. All right, now we're working with 10 kilos, okay? So the weight's super light. That's it, 10 kilos on each side. So a green plate for our guys, and we're just trying to teach the technique of it, okay? Then we'll progress to kangaroos, all right? Now we're gonna actually move the bar, all right? So when we get to that, now we're gonna go into an actual or a high chest clean, so they're doing the whole movement. We're gonna go into a hang clean, we're gonna go into a below the knee clean, and we're gonna go into a power clean, okay? So now they're actually catching the bar in that front squat position, all right? And then once we get into zips, now we're doing complexes, all right? So you get into the zips, now you're gonna do something like, you might do a clean pull to a power clean to a front squat. And those complexes help a lot with the shifts, okay? Another one we might do is a hang clean, below knee clean, power clean, okay? So we'll start working complexes on the platforms. Do you guys have any immediate questions about how this progresses? And obviously the weight increases here, and they have to pass a certain percentage to move up to zips with technique. And then here's where we start cutting them loose a little bit and letting them move some weight. As far as the general concepts of any of this, interns, anybody, do we have any questions or comments on this? We're good there?
Why did you choose top down instead of bottom to top?
One, I'm just biased towards it because how I was taught to do it. And then two, it's just my concept. So I kind of keep it considered, just like, when you're rehabbing an injured guy, what do I say?
Up and down, top and bottom.
Don't start them unless they can what? Stop. Why would I teach a guy how to start accelerating if he doesn't know how to decelerate yet? Why would I teach a guy how to power clean from the floor if he doesn't know how to hip hinge yet? You know what I mean? So I want to teach that first movement so that I set them up for good motor patterns, so that he knows if I teach him how to high chest position, he knows how to sit his butt back and have posterior knee bend, then great. But if he doesn't have that down, why would I teach him the bottom position? You know what I mean? So it's how I was taught. It's what makes sense to me. I'm sure people do it the other way and it probably works for them, but it's what makes most sense to me. It's when I think about how I work conceptually with everything that I do, that's my progression in my head. What else? Good there? All right, let's get on the floor. You can pause that. All right, now you're gonna coach each other up. Teaching tier 1 first. So this is all of our ISO positions we just went through on the whiteboard. So Coach Harris is going to take folks through here just what it'd be like to be your first day in here as a Joey, which is our very first, very minimalistic tier. So all we're going to work is the ISO positions. All right, we're going to give Coach Harris going to use our coaching cues. Okay, he's going to teach some of the things that we see that are incorrect. All right, and roll through it. So first off, let's start with teaching how to pick the bar up, which we start with here.
Dave, come over here. All right. The first thing we do, we teach them how to approach the bar. So we teach them, and that's going to set up their feet for the rest of the time. So we tell them when they approach the bar, you're going to walk up and you're going to line your shins up right here in the middle of the smooth part of the bar, right here. Good, right about there. Right where you jump from is a good coaching cue we give. So if you were to stand up, you were to try and jump through the ceiling, you wouldn't be in here, you wouldn't be out here. It's just right in a good athletic position. All right, that's the first thing we're going to do.
So not everybody's foot position is the same on your power movements.
Correct.
Correct. Everyone's gonna have a little different base. Everyone's got a different hip structure. So coach is gonna just ask folks to line up with the bar. If he said touch the ceiling, that's where I want your feet. That might be different for Harris or Coach Owens or myself. That's where folks is. So we're good.
All right. Next thing we're gonna do is talk about hand position. Where you're gonna put your hands. So we teach a thumb length grip off the knurling. So right here, where the knurling starts, he's going to place his thumb right there. And that's usually generally a very good spot for everybody based on anatomical dispositions that they can get their elbows through and catch the bar in a pretty good, efficient spot, especially once they start getting load on the bar.
And what if you have a guy with huge shoulders, super wide?
I'm going to move him out.
You're gonna move him out a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's okay because it puts him in a better, safer position to catch the ball, correct? And if he's got big ass legs, you know, if he's here, his elbows might be on top of his knees, right? So we might have to widen him out. That's okay. It's okay to do that. It's okay to shift guys around a little bit.
All right. So from here, if we're going into our high chest iso hold, and we're going to want him to pick up the bar, we're going to tell him to lock his scaps in, okay? So you see him kind of lock in here. He engages his lats, keeps that bar tight. He's going to lock in his low back. And we're just going to tell him to use his legs first, let his chest lead his hips, and he's just going to stand up with the bar in a perfect manner. We don't want him to freaking be rounded over like this, pick it up sloppily just because it's 88 pounds and just stand up like that. No need for that. We're going to start teaching him how to do everything right from the floor, right from the get-go, okay? So the high chest iso position right here. First thing we're going to do is tell him to make sure he turns his knuckles down, okay? You'll see him turn his knuckles down right here.
Curl the bar, curl the bar, curl the bar.
Boom, that's one of the very first things we're going to cue.
Why?
It's going to allow us to keep the bar tight as we start to pull. Here we go. Ready? So I'm going to say, all right, folks, high chest, here we go. High chest iso hold. All right. Now you saw him, his hips went back. So we had a hip hinge, which is the biggest thing we talk about is a hip hinge. And his knees are staying right on top of his ankles here. All right, a common mistake you'll see a lot. Folks, give us some anterior knee bend here. That'll be their first movement. Instead of that, so go back to the top. Now do it with anterior knee bend. Watch. This is going to be their first movement. Here, you don't see them initiate the movement with the hip. You see them initiate it with the knee. That's what we want to stay away from because now when they go to start pulling and moving the bar, they're not in a good position. They have no stretch back here. They're not going to be able to extend their hips when we go to actually move and clean the bar. All right.
An easy corrective for that is this tool right here. Put the bar right here so it's touching right now. And when I say posterior knee bend, what I mean by that is I want those knees to go that way. I don't want anterior knee bend this way. I want up. So he'll stand up. He's standing straight up. I'll put this bar right here. I'll say, don't touch this bar. I don't want that bar to touch this PVC pipe. We're going to go high chest position. All right, ready? High chest. Beautiful. Great. Stand back up. High chest. Okay, now he's bending backwards. All right, now we're in a good position. Drop the bar. Come on, Coach Owens. Get in here. Let's go. All right, you keep coaching. You keep coaching. Here. Yeah. Bar up. All right, so like I said, we'll go 3 sets. We'll go just high chest. So high chest, now he's off doing core. Next time through, now we're gonna move on to the next one. So we're going down the line. The next movement is what?
Hang position iso hold.
Hang position.
So that's pretty good. Now you can see what this position did. We already built on it in the first one. We already talked about hip hinging. We already talked about having posterior knee bend here, initiating the movement with the hips. So you can see when our guys, they already know they're starting to initiate hip hinge, hip hinge, hip hinge. It's ingrained in their head. You'll hear them saying it in practice sometimes. All right, so go ahead and stand back up. So the first thing you're gonna do, when we get into a hang position, okay, we're gonna initiate with the hip hinge. We're always gonna start back to where we were. There's his feet lined up, or his knuckles turned down. Is he curling his wrist? All right, is he in a good position? Is he locked in? Now we're gonna say, all right, hang position. He's gonna initiate. Okay, now one of the best things we've done is use a whistle. Okay, if you see a guy that doesn't truly understand how to get into a good hip hinge position and kind of leaves his chest high, go ahead and pull your. So look, his whistle's still kind of touching his shirt, and if he's looking down, he really can't see his whistle. Now, if he goes into a great hang position, the proper way with the hinge and posterior knee bend, now that whistle, he's looking right down the string of his the string of his whistle there.
Now, why do we sit their hips back so far? Why do we coach such an aggressive hang position?
Such a move.
I mean, they're all not wrong. Here's the best way I think about it. Okay, you guys know those little pieces that have all the marbles lined up on the strings. You pull. Okay, imagine like you pulled a marble back this far and dropped it. How many times are those gonna go back and forth? Versus if I take that marble and cock it back here and drop it, how many times are gonna go back and forth? So the same concept with it. We want to get your hips back so we can get your hips through the bar instead of just being here and I don't even pop with my hips. So that's why it's essential that we got to get in this hang position first. So same thing if he's got the anterior knee bend. So okay, you see it all the time. You'll see it freaking 100 times when you get guys that start moving for the first time. Standing back up, it's the same coaching cue. Get all the way back up. Set the PVC pipe right here so you have no choice. Like, don't touch the PVC pipe. Ready? Hey! Okay. I want the whistle over the bar. I want you back in your heels. Can you wiggle your toes right now? We're going to teach them to shift their weight from their heels up to their toes when we start teaching triple extension. Okay? So glutes, I'm walking around right now, hitting their glutes with this pipe. I'm smacking their forearms. I want them tight. I want a neutral spine posture here all the way through the head, and we're good to go. We're in a hang position. All right? Go ahead, relax. Come on, Green. All right, so the last ISO position we'll start. Now we kind of cheat on this a little bit because we teach a lot of this in our warm-up with squat lock returns, and we'll do different variations outside before we come here to kind of pre-coach cue this up. But if not, Coach Harris just take over like we're in here for the first time.
All right, so now we're going to go into our scoop position. All right, this is, like Coach Luke said, the verbiage just kind of, if you just think about it, a scoop, it just kind of makes sense and allows them to visualize what we're doing. So this is essentially the bottom position right off the floor, all right? So when we do that, we're going to tell Coach Green he's going to set up. He looks like he's in a good position. Coach Green's a big, wide dude, so he's going to set up a little different than Coach Fuchs or Coach Owens here. He's going to drop down. Go ahead, Coach. Get into a position like you're going to pick up the bar. Okay, now from here, we're going to tell him to drop his hips and pull his chest up. And what you're going to watch is, you're going to watch this plate here leave the platform by about an inch. Okay, if he does this right, he should create tension by dropping his hips and pulling his chest up. Ready? Go ahead, Coach. Drop your hips, pull your chest up.
This ain't fun to hold no matter how long you are. Now we're coaching, I want to try straight ahead. Okay, we're going neutral, we're going to pulling that chest up, pulling that butt down. Okay, you see his toes are just off the ground. He's starting to get a little tight in the hips right now. I'm smacking his forearms, I'm smacking his glutes. Like I said, we're going to teach him to shift from the heels up onto the toes. Eye straight ahead, and we're just coaching this over and over again. And it don't matter, like I said, how strong you are, this is still a bitch to do. It's hard to hold for 15 seconds. How you feeling, Coach Green? Okay, that's a great scoop position. We're gonna hold this to teach them before they ever move, okay? Relax. All right, so that's tier one. Like I said, you have to be able to hold those three main positions, all right, for 15 seconds, 3 times through before anything. And you'll notice a lot of guys, it'll take them weeks to be able to hold this position without breaking with their upper back, without dropping their head, without shifting forward. It's a lot more difficult than it sounds, okay? So that's Joey's. That's our first tier. Okay, we shift into our second tier. Coach Owens, take us through this one, okay? So second tier, we're gonna shift through the actual movements now. So it's the same thing, we're still ISO hold positions, but we're not gonna relax between the movements. So here, Green just goes down to a hang position, and once 15 seconds is over, he drops the bar. Now he's gonna shift through the movements like he would if he had the bar in his back. All right, he has the bar in his hand, like we're actually gonna do the movement. Okay, so same concept, top down. So Coach Green will pick up the bar, which he already now knows how to do. You know, we've already worked that, so he knows how to pick the bar up in a safe manner.
So we're gonna go hang, where he's dropping that chest, pushing that butt back. So we'll hold this position for 5 seconds. Once we're at 5, we'll go to our high chest. And then we'll go back to our hang. What we're looking at is that when they go from their hang to their high chest, we don't want that knee bend to go forward. So we're always watching that butt go back.
And like I said, this is your best coaching tool right here. Go to Walmart or Home Depot, buy 20 of these, and just set the bar right here. You want to teach a guy how to hip hinge, set this bar, say don't hit it, and just watch him move through the movements, okay? Here's what you'll have, like I said, I don't want to see a lot of this shit where the head's moving all over the place. I want to stay neutral with the spine. I want him hip hinge, and I want him sitting back. I'm walking around, like I said, blowing up their glutes right now, making sure that they're firing here, okay? Making sure they're set here. Roll your shoulders over the bad way, coach. No dice. I want them to retract their scaps, which, like I said, we're kind of cheating because we're simultaneously teaching this. We're teaching them with other movements how to do this. Obviously, right now, we're just going to do the clean complex. Hard down, relax. Okay, so that's the first one. He's got to be able to do that. We'll go 5 seconds each. So it's 5 seconds hang, 5 seconds high, 5 seconds hang.
Okay? The next series that we'll go through is below the knee, to a hang to a below the knee. So all this is doing is teaching these guys how to shift from a bar position to the hang position. So the bar will go up, Coach Green will then go below his knee with his chest up.
Chest up, butt down.
There it is. Good. From here, he'll shift into his hang. Good. Neutral neck, and then drop his hips and continue to push his butt back and go back to his below the knee. With his eyes up, big chest.
Chest up, chest up. And we call this a shift. So we won't even say hang, we'll just call it the shift. Now this is absolutely essential because, relax coach, I can't tell you how many guys, if you don't take time teaching them, they won't ever get a hip shift, that's what we call it. Which is, then they'll go from this position and they'll go straight up. And they'll never make contact with their hips, they'll never get the full stand. So what we're teaching them to do is just shift from this upward chest position to where they shift into that hang position, back up to the high chest position. So taking your time in this, and let's do one more time here, coach. It's an essential thing. This is probably one of the hardest things they have to get done. So bars up, I'll pick it up. I'll say below knee, chest is up, eyes are straight ahead. Hang. Below knee. Hang. Below knee. Hang. Good, bars down. Go ahead, coach.
Good. From here, we'll go to a 1 to 3 inch clean pull. So we're going back to that scoop position where the bar is just off the ground 1 inch, and we're just traveling up and down the shin. What we're looking for is that the guys can keep their chest up and they're not just dropping their chest to move the bar. So we're dropping our hips. This is where the bar will start to travel. And Coach Green will pick the bar up.
Pick it up again, full position.
You go in tension position.
Eyes up, eyes up. Move. And we'll just let them go on their own, 1 to 3 inches, okay? Now, why is this so important, folks? Why do we do this movement?
To learn how to keep the bar.
What's a big issue we see with guys in that movement?
They break their posture.
So what rises first?
Their butts.
Their butts go up first, okay? So if you want to correct that, which we see all the time, this is our corrective tool, okay? So instead of raising your ass first, raise your chest. Coach, show them what we see sometimes. We see guys rip the bar off the floor. You'll see your ass yank up, okay? No dice. That is not a good sound position. We don't want that position, especially in explosive fashion. So coach will get in a great screw position. We're going chest up and same thing. Let me use my tool right here, okay? Stay off the bar. Eyes up, eyes straight ahead. Good work. Okay, now his glutes are on fire. He's all got posterior, I got a lot of anterior knee bend. Get relaxed, coach. Okay, so that's our clean complex for our Wallabies. Okay, that's the second step. So Wallaroos, what are we working on?
Jump stroke.
Motion itself.
Or,
Triple
sorry,
extension.
the Joeys, what are we working on? Just the positions, right? Where do we start? Because if we don't start in a good position, what are we not going to finish with?
A good position.
A good position, okay? So Joey's, we just want to start. We want to develop great starting positions, all right? Then in the second, the Wallabies are tier 2. What's our main emphasis?
Transitions, shifts.
Transitions. We want to teach them how to shift. So they're shifting in and out of these positions because there are a lot of shifts. And your your chest isn't straight up the entire time. So teach them how to do that. We need to do that so they can actually move the body over speed. Okay? And then we shift into our next tier, which is what? Wallaroo.
Wallaroo.
All right. Now is what is my main emphasis here?
Triple extension.
Triple extension. All right. Coach Harris, come get on the bar. Coach Green. All right. As obviously we know, if we're not getting triple extension on Olympic movement, we're wasting time. Triple extension is the most important thing for all power output for speed. You talk about tackling, you talk about jumping, you talk about sprinting. That power comes from triple extension. The most power I can possibly produce comes the second I hit triple extension. So if we don't hit that, we're never going to hit optimal power output or maximal power output. Okay, so the biggest advice I can give you when teaching triple extension is don't over teach it. It's why we use the jump shrug. Sometimes it's ugly. Okay, but the reason we use it is because I don't have to overcoach it. I just say, hey, quit freaking worrying about anything else and just jump. If I tell you to jump, there's not too many kids that are going to do this. Okay, most people got this thing down when you just say jump, and that means jump. Okay, so don't overcoach this.
All right, so we're gonna start the same way that we did with all the other two progressions. We're gonna pick the bar up in a nice, safe way that we usually do it. He's gonna pick it up. We're gonna go into our high chest position. Knuckles down, bars close to the body. Now that's a good coaching cue to keep the bar close to the body. So since we've already initiated the hip hinge, when he comes up into his jump shrug, he's gonna make sure that his big toe leaves the ground last. Big toe leaves the ground last. He's bringing his hips through the bar as aggressive as possible, keeping the bar close to his body with his knuckles down. His shoulders are gonna try to touch his ears, or what we call traps to ears. So from this way position, we're gonna go up. We're gonna go high chest, shrug, back down. Now once you see, he did a great job of getting his hips through, but the bar came away from his body a little bit more. So we're gonna pull the knuckles down and get the PVC pipe out. We're gonna do the exact same thing. So even though he's leaving the ground, big toe last, it shouldn't get too far away from the body, because when the bar starts to travel, we want to keep the bar close to the body as possible. So high chest, shrug, good. Don't look back, come straight up. Remember, toes straight to the bar. High chest, shrug, that's better. Let's do that one more again. High chest, shrug, good.
One of the first things you'll see here, one of the first issues you'll see is they got the movements mastered down, or they got the starting positions mastered down. You've shifted them, but you've shifted them in very slow positions. Now we're asking for speed. The first thing we're going to see is what here, Coach Jones? One of the first mistakes you see here.
Guys will start to roll towards their toe instead of driving through it.
Okay, so instead of calling on their hands and their glutes, they're going to shift forward, all right, and put all that pressure on that patellar tendon. So it's the same thing. We want to teach them to pull the bar this way. So we're always cueing, I want you to go that way. Try to take your head and pull through the ceiling. Try to shrug that bar through the ceiling, okay? But that's what I'm saying, that Coach Green's talking about, why this is so useful. It's the same thing. If you see a guy do it, Coach, give me a rep where you shoot forward. Watch his knees. Okay, you see him, it's almost like a scoop in the wrong way, like he's scooping underneath the bar or something, okay? We want to go straight up, no wasted movement. So high chest, jump! Okay, so that's another tool I'll use this for, all right?
All right, we're gonna go into the same thing, same exact coaching cues when we get into our hang position, picking the bar up, knuckles down, good, nice big chest, proud chest. We're gonna do the exact same thing, going down to the hang. Remember, hips are back, knees are gonna be over his heels. He's gonna jump straight up, putting most of the pressure through the ball of his feet, making his toes down last. Ready, shrug. Good. Land in the athletic position, get set up, hang. Pressure through the ball of your feet, big toe leaving the ground last, traps the ear, shrug. Good. One more, coach, one more. Hang.
Watch his extension. Watch how he's extending. Ankles, knees, and hips. Watch it.
Ready, shrug. Good, nice soft landing. Good, hard out.
You got a guy, like I said, if you ever have a guy, you got to go against what you want to go against as a coach. If you got a guy that can't extend, you're coaching too much. Back off and just tell them to move the bar. Tell them, say, don't worry about shrugging right now. Don't worry about your positions. I just want to see you. That's the most simple coaching cue that you guys can use. If they're not getting a triple extension, back off them. Even if you're coaching a regression and a guy's not getting it, just say, just jump. And let them get that motor pattern going, oh, that's what you mean. And then everything works out from there, okay? Next, coach.
All right, now we're gonna go below the knee, and this is where things get a little bit tricky, especially coming up from our different progressions of our lower tiers. Because now we're gonna teach the scoop, and you heard Coach talk about when we're talking about scooping the wrong way. Now we're gonna teach you how to scoop the right way to get back into that vertical position. So Coach here's gonna pick up the bar, knuckles down, proud chest. Back is gonna be nice and tight. You're gonna get down into your below the knee. From this position, when he goes below the knee, our main emphasis is getting him back to that hang position. So just scoop to the hang position from ready. Scoop or shift, and we're gonna come right back to that position. So below the knee. And we're gonna shift. And this is how we wanna shift back into that hang position. Now from this position, go into the shrug. Shrug. Back down. Bar, make sure bar stay close. So ready. Below the knee. Shrug. Shift and shrug, right? Go back up for me. So we're gonna go below the knee, shift, and then we're gonna shrug. Those are the
Coach, excited.
I am excited, ready?
Great
Below the knee, shift, shrug. There we go, good. That shift shrug has to come very quickly. So below the knee, shift, shrug, good. Bar down.
And that's we won't always do it like that, but I always tell these guys when you get someone in that group, that's why we want to start like that. Because if you don't develop that shift, what's going to happen?
Start rolling forward again.
Not necessarily rolling forward, but what's going to happen to the bar?
It's gonna get away from
It's going to get away from them because they're never going to, you're just going to see guys doing this, okay? They're never going to shift through where they come here, shift, and pop, okay? So it might just be one day we have to teach that, and from there I want them to get used to not having to hear it, just do it. So, we might be below knee, shift, jump. We'll do that maybe one round, and then the next one is just below knee, jump, and they're just on their own, and then you start to see the shift pick up. That's why we implement that, okay? So make sure we get the shift. And then obviously it works down the ladder. So the next one is from the scoop position, and if we have that shift down, this one's, he coaches itself.
Yeah. So hey, once again, going down to the scoop position, bar is going to be hovering off the ground for about an inch. And once again, I'm just going to tell him to pull. We want to actually go through a gradual pull. So when he gets to that below the knee position, when he goes into the scoop position or shift position, he's going to go vertical with it. So ready? Below the knee, shift, jump. Good. Same exact thing. And this is working the same with the 1 to 3 inch clean pulls that we were doing in the earlier stages. So just go do it by yourself, coach. He's going to get a nice scoop position. He's going to shift, going straight up. Make sure he's landing in the proper position. One more time, coach. Hips below his shoulders, chest up. Nice gradual pull, shift, and go. Good, good.
And once again, just remember, our below knee and scoop position right now doesn't look a ton different because of the weight. So I want them to know how to create tension. And that's why we always say, when we're teaching the scoop position with just the bar or just aiming around the bar, I want them to understand that before you power clean or before you pull from the ground, you're not just sitting there lackadaisical. You're actually pulling the bar already. So that's why we teach like that, so they understand, I want to create this tension now. And that's why we keep the bar an inch off the ground. Now, obviously, it doesn't look a ton different from what we need, but when you have 220 on there, that tension is not going to pull that ball off the ground, but they've embedded this in their heads, so we understand what that is, okay? So, once they've mastered triple extension, they have the positions, they know how to shift between the positions, they know how to triple extend. Now it's time to teach them how to do what? Catch the bar, all right? Now, I say cheating, but we've already been teaching them how to catch the bar for 3 weeks because we've been teaching them which movement? Front squat, all right? So while we've been holding all these positions, while we've been learning triple extension, and I'll go over our squat progression next week, okay, and you'll see how these link up, but that's why we teach them front squat. That's why we teach front squat before we teach back squat, because that's what correlates with this lift. So now, when they come over here and we say, okay, now you're gonna go to the position, you've been there, you know how to do it. You're gonna jump, you've done it a million times, you know how to do it. Now what we're gonna say is, our coaching cue is, now just catch in a front squat position. And they go, oh, front squat position. You mean the 1,000 repetitions of front squats I've done in the last freaking 3 weeks? And they just know how to do it, okay? So this is really typically the easiest transition because now all they're doing is just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. You'll notice it's very ugly right in the beginning, and then you see them catching on to it very quickly, okay? So I'll just go through a couple issues that I see. So as we go through this, I'm gonna put Harris in all the starting positions, or why don't folks come do this, okay? I'm gonna put folks in the starting positions. Harris has a broken scaphoid, so I wanna make him catch the bar today. And we're just gonna see him catch the bar, okay? So as you go through this, and I'll go through some things that I see with guys having issues, okay? Bar up, so we'll just go high chest, clean. More speed, shrug the bar, come on. High chest, clean. Good. High chest, clean. Good. High chest, clean. Good, okay, relax. All right, so first things first, what I'm gonna see is we gotta get the bar moving this way, all right? Worrying too much about hips moving this way and not enough about getting the bar going vertical right now. So the coaching cue I would give him there is I want you to take that bar, I want you to rip it through the ceiling, okay? Coach one thing at a time. Write that down. Coach one thing at a time. I can't say, all right, I want you to take the bar, I want you to shrug it really hard. Make sure you keep the bar tight to your body. And make sure your knees aren't coming this way, okay? He's going to fix all three things in one rep. All right, so one thing at a time. So the first thing I'm going to attack is I got to get triple extension, right? We got to get that going. Bar up. Take the bar with the bar, rip through the ceiling, all right? Check. Clean. How much better does that look? Okay, just one coaching cue there. Relax. Pick and choose your battles, coach one thing at a time. All right? So we'll go high chest clean, we'll go hang clean, we'll go below the knee clean, or below the knee clean and power clean. All right? Here we go. Bar up. Hang. Make sure he's in a great hang position. I need the head neutral. I need that bar all the way down to the hang position. Right above the knees. I need you to push your knees back a little bit. Posterior. Get back. There we go. Now we're in the hang position. I'm going to say clean. I need you to pull that bar through the ceiling. Clean. Nice. Good. Hang. Better knees back. Push those knees back. Back, 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 back. Clean. Good. Bigger shrug. Pull the bar through the ceiling. Hang. Back, 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 back. Long arms, long arms, long arms. There you go. Clean. Very nice. Good. Okay, bar down. All right. Green, come here. All right, so a couple issues you'll see with that. All right, obviously, my favorite coaching cue, if guys aren't pulling the bar and they're shortchanging it, that's my favorite cue, is just to say, I mean, I've heard people say get tall a lot before. I've really never had an athlete understand what the hell I'm saying when I say get tall. They look at me like, what the hell does get tall mean, okay? When you tell an athlete to take the bar and rip it through the ceiling, they get tall, all right? So it's like use external coaching cues. Don't say, tell a guy, engage your calves and rise up onto your toes and fire your glutes. They don't understand that shit, okay? If you tell a guy, hey, I want you to take the bar and pull it through the ceiling, or even if you just tell a guy, they usually know what a shrug is. If you tell a guy, hey, shrug this bar violently, watch what happens to their knees and their toes, okay? Watch what happens at their triple extension, all right? So that was a great one. I mean, Fuchs messed that up on purpose, right, Fuchs? Okay, so he didn't get a triple extension on purpose, so I can correct it. All right, now Green, I want you to do one of those guys that runs away from the bar. Okay, so no matter how tight he keeps the bar, he can't ever catch it. Okay, not in a safe position. So watch Green's feet, watch where they start. He's going to do a hang clean, and I want you to watch where he finishes. So I'll put the PVC pipe where he starts. Okay, so the bar goes up, hang, clean. Okay, and they scoot back. How many people have seen this before? We've seen that before. Okay, great. Bar down. You might call me crazy, you might call me an idiot. That's fine. It works, so you can suck it. Okay? So, what I'm going to do here, we're going to pick the bar up. I'm going to take these two 10-pound plates. I'm going to stick them right behind his heel. I've never had a guy step on the plate. I don't know why. I was nervous to do this the first time I did it. I've never seen somebody actually step on the plate. It's worked every single time for me. So now I'm going to say, Green, you got 10-pound plates behind your heels. You're going to do a clean. You better catch right in that same position. I don't care if your feet go out a little bit, but they can't go back. Got it? All right, here we go. Hang. Clean. Okay, and then you see that problem get fixed as well. All right? Relax. Okay, so once I get the high chest clean, great, we've moved down to the hang clean. Then we're going to go below knee clean. All right? The biggest thing with below knee clean we need to work on is what? Shift. You'll see him miss it. As soon as you come doing this, you'll see him miss a shift. So, bar goes up. Coach, I want you to miss a shift here. So watch what I mean by miss a shift. Watch his bar pad. Below knee. Clean. Oh, you didn't miss a shift. That was good. Do a shitty one. Below knee. Straight up. Clean. Okay, that's missing the shift. All right. Easy way to fix this. Regrets. Go back to the basics. So what cue am I going to put in there? Shift. Below knee. Eyes up. Shift. Clean. Good. Again. Below knee. Eyes up. Shift. Clean. Just add the cue in their form. And then you'll see them start thinking. Shift. Clean. And it works. All right? So, once he's mastered that, now we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. Okay? Go all the way down to the bottom. Scoop position. Okay, so we call it scoop position because I want him to scoop under the bar. It works. Try it with your athletes. They understand it. So scoop. We got tension. The bar is curled. His butt's got to go down a little bit. His eyes need to be up right there. Ready? Clean. Good shift. Great hips. Good clean. All right, coach. Miss the shift again here. Miss the shift again here. Scoop position. Clean. Now miss the shift. Clean words. Quit cleaning well. Clean words. Miss the shift. Clean. You suck at sucking. Suck more at sucking. Just go straight up. There. Good shitty clean. Great shitty clean. All right. So, you missed the shift. What am I going to coach? What am I going to cue? I'm going to cue the freaking shift. Okay? Bars up. New position. Shift. Clean. Okay? And you'll see him start getting the shift beautifully. Okay? All right, another issue we see. What happens with the ass sometimes from the screw position? It rises. Show me one, coach. Show me a bad clean here. Screw position. Clean. Okay, no dice. Puts us in a bad position. What do we want to raise first?
Chest.
The chest has got to go first. So I'm going to regress him. Regression. Every progression should have a what?
Regression.
A regression, okay? Hey, Green, before we get to the next set, I'm going to regress here, all right? We're going to go back to what we did 2 weeks ago. You remember the 1 to 3 inch pull? We're just going to right knee. Got it? I want constant tension on the bar, okay? Ready, scoop. Move. Good. You see how you feel your chest rising right now? That's what I want you to do with your next clean, okay? Relax. You got it? You know what you're feeling? All right, 88 pounds, world record, let's go. Scoop position. Clean. Beautiful, beautiful. Guinness Book of World Record, I love it. Okay, so for me, once those 4 tiers are absolutely solidified into muscle memory, okay, they can do everything, and you don't have to coach those things anymore. They're done. They can do it at a light weight. They can do it with 88 pounds. We'll start to gradually progress their weight, but they have to be able to do all these and cue these things internally. Okay, if they can't cue them, they can't move up. All right. Once they've passed those 4 tiers, okay, the isos with movement, the triple extension, and actual catching the bar, then we'll start working the complex. When we get to the complexes, I'll let you add weight. What defers how much weight I'll let you add? Technique. Okay, you can go up to 300 pounds now and start the complexes if your technique is sound. All right, if it's not, you're going to stay here. We're going to work the complexes. All right? Come on, Green. Keep working. Okay, so complexes are great for teaching. They're great for continuing to teach the shifts. They're great for continuing to teach extension. So these are my progression. So what we'll do is before we cut them loose into what we call our off-season program, they have to be able to do the complexes with good weight. Because then I know when I shift them into just saying, okay, you got 4 sets of 2 hang cleans, I know they'll do them correctly, okay? So I'll just go through a couple complexes, all right? So usually from there we'll shift into the hang clean, the low knee clean, power clean, front squat, okay? Will be our shift, okay? So he'll just go through all 4 movements. So ball will come up. I'll say, hang, clean. Below knee. Eyes up. Clean. Great shift. Good. Scoop position. Clean. Now he'll go right into a front squat. Why do we teach him right into a front squat here?
Catch.
And what are we starting to teach here? What kind of clean?
Power.
A full clean. A full clean. We're teaching him to catch at the bottom. Relax, coach. Okay, so now we've taught him how to catch here. Now we're going to teach him how to eventually work into a full clean, catching ass to grass. Okay, we're also getting our front squats in, continuing to get mobility, strength, biomotor patterns. All right, stay with it. Okay, from there, I want to solidify the catch on the power clean. All right, and if we can't catch in a sound position, we're certainly not going to want to hold the position, right? So now what I'm going to do, the next variation, is now I'm going to work them and really teach the power clean, okay? So we're going to go clean pull, we're going to pause power clean. So on the top on the catch, he's going to pause for a 3 count, he's going to stand up, then he's going to go into his front squat, okay? So we're going to go clean pull, pause, power clean, front squat. So we're working great triple extension here. He's just shrugging this bar, getting high. Here we go. Screw position. Eyes. Clean. Good. And I don't want him moving his elbows. I want him moving shrugs. So I'm going to tell him, do the rep again. I want these arms staying long. I don't want to see your neck. Cover your traps ears. Screw position. Eyes up. Shrug. Good. Still got a little bend in his elbows. I need to keep coaching with a shrug instead of pull here. Okay? One more time, coach. Keep your arms long. Shrug the bar. Take your time. On you. Good. Here we go. He's just too powerful to do it. All right, here we go. From there, we're going to go into the power clean with a pause. Okay? Scoop position. Eyes up. Clean. Pause it. Hold it. Stay tight. I'm going to smack him and make sure he's tight. Up. Front squat. Down. Good. Locking in the movement. Okay? Now, obviously, if he catches in a shitty position, can he pause? If he catches here, he ain't going to go pause in that position. So I love the pause power clean to teach the catch. Okay? That's mainly that's our progression. That's everything right there. What, did I miss any mistakes that guys make often? Did I not go through something? Yeah, I mean, if you see the dolphin kick on the jump shrug, it's just, you got to make it simpler. And honestly, I've never found a good way to coach it besides telling them to worry less about other stuff. Just jump. You see this? You see a guy go here? You'll see that all the time. Just say, don't worry about anything. I don't care about the shrug. I don't care about the bar path. I don't care about your hang position. I just want to see you jump as high as you can. Tell them to jump higher. When they jump higher, I promise you their hips will come through. So that's how we solve that when you got the dolphin kick.
Guys that keep the stress up continuously instead of the shift.
Yeah, I mean, when you have guys that won't shift, this is your tool, okay? This and the whistle. That's your 2 things. Put the whistle on their neck. Say, keep your eyes on the whistle. All right, I want you to just watch the whistle shift out in front of you. If they drop here, the whistle's not going to shift. If they drop here, the whistle will lay out in front of them. So we use the whistle for that or the PVC pipe. Put the PVC pipe next to them and say, don't touch the PVC pipe, and you'll see them start getting in.
When we start emphasizing the catch, elbows,
We don't coach it over here. Where do we coach it?
Front squat.
front squats. Yep.
Front squat, okay? I promise you, if you guys want to set yourself up for headaches, try to coach catching a bar over 100 cleans. Okay, that's the best thing about front squats. I can teach them how to catch the bar over there, then when I cue it over here, what do I say?
Just like front squats.
Just like front squats. You don't have to sit there and say, oh, 2 fingers on the bar, get your elbows to the ceiling. You've already coached that. Where? In a much more controlled environment. So now they're just going. Now maybe a lot of times I'll have to coach fast elbows over here because you'll see the guys that do this and they just have lackadaisical elbows and you might have to teach them how to do it. Sometimes it'll be as dumb as it seems. I'll have guys sit here and just go this, bang, bang, and just throw their elbows through the ceiling. All right, but if you do a good job of coaching it on the racks, you won't have to coach it over here. What else? All right, what questions? None of us are pro coaches. What issues do we have?
When it comes to the shift, when we teach, like the thing I've been noticing is just like, it seems like sometimes when we teach the shift, from my perspective, it's like they're thinking too much about the shift. And so when we put it all together, it's like they're choppy. It's real choppy from below, you know, they pull from the floor, they're patient, and then they get above the knee and they go to the shift. And it's like they're trying way too hard to get all in there, and it just looks super choppy. Instead, like when you watch a guy power clean, it just kind of, you know, once we teach it right, like the zips, the guys in the zips right now, it's just smooth. How do you, I guess, how do you combat that and keep them from being choppy and kind of getting them in the mindset of, like today I kind of just said, stop thinking about the shift so much. You know how to do it. We've done it 100 times.
Your job is not to cause the issue or to coach the issue. What is your job? To coach what?
Find what's causing the issue.
To find what's causing the issue. Okay, you can sit there until you're blue in the face and say, Sophia, get a tighter bar. Get a tighter bar. And you can yell as loud as you want. It's not going to make her figure it out. If I tell her what's causing it, hey, Sophia, your wrists are like this. Curl your wrists in. Don't coach, hey, tighter bar. Coach, curl your wrists. Okay? If they're not getting triple extension, tell them, like I said, to finish. Hey, finish through your toes. What? Jump. Tell them to jump. Don't coach what's causing. Don't coach the issue. Don't say, hey, your shift sucks. What's making their shift suck? Coach that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're catching with the bar. You're catching the bar too far this way. That help anybody? Did anybody, when a guy catches a bar like this, do you ever not know you caught the bar like this? Hey, thanks, Coach Harris, for telling me that. Appreciate it. That's not what we need. I need to know why I'm catching the bar like that. Hey, you're catching the bar up front anteriorly because your bar path is like this, okay? So curl your wrists, watch that bar flip right up, flip your shirt right up, and see how tight that thing is, and you'll notice it'll just lock you right in. Try it. Don't coach the issue, coach what's causing the issue. What else? So everyone can coach all those things perfectly.
Guys that will like start to lean on their toes, going back because they don't like trust their chest to fall.
Regress them. You got guys at their chest position off the floor is here. Regress them, pull them back. I had to do it today because I have guys who they like when you power clean, they want momentum. So they'll like start here and they'll roll the bar and pull it like that. We don't want that. So I'll regress them. I'll literally make them sit there. I'll say, scoop position. And they might have 220 right here. And I'll make them hold it for a 3 count and then pull it. So you gotta get in the scoop and just regress them. Regress them back to the bare bones. They'll get it.
Well, what about something like, it could just be like a internal motivation thing. So I have this issue too, is that I don't want to put a lot of weight on because it freaks me out to catch a bar above my head, squat down, and then get it up. But it's like I guess internal motivation you could use for that. I don't know.
I mean, you gotta just get over it. I mean, there's guys that I mean, it's just like anything. It's just like you can't go out and worry about your ACL every time you get on the field. Like, you know, I think part of that is being confident in bailing too. You know, you teach guys how to get out of bad situations. You know, if the guys kind of like, for me, I don't care how much I'm going to try to clean because I know if I don't like it, I'm doing this. And I'm throwing it down in front of myself, and I'm back. So I don't worry about having 400 pounds on the bar and trying to clean it because I know how to bail out. So if it were me, I would just spend some more time teaching a kid how to bail out and feel more comfortable bailing out if something doesn't feel right, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that would solve that solution.
As far as like teaching like the shifts and transitions, do you typically want guys to kind of take those slow and then eventually start going through those shifts and transitions faster, or do you want that always at a kind of slower speed when
I
they're
would
in
say,
there?
I mean, some would probably be individually based. I mean, for me, for the most part, when I've seen athletes, when you shift them slow and controlled and then move them into the clean pulls, it clicks, you know, but if it doesn't, you might have to. You know, sometimes you have to break things up. Sometimes you have to mix some of these things up and segment it together. Sometimes you notice that you're overcoaching it. Sometimes you notice that you've segmented too much of it. I know people that don't even teach a shift, but for me, there's too many guys that don't master this piece right here if you don't teach a shift. So but sometimes you have to coach less. Like sometimes coaching less is a lot more. If you overstimulate these guys with a ton of coaching cues, it's not effective. It's not effective. What else? So we're comfortable with this. Everybody feels that they can coach any one of the teams and know how to fix the issues, know how to coach them. Everyone's comfortable. Where are we at with our coaching eyes? Because that's, that's like I said, it's not what you look at, it's what you see. I don't need coaches in here just to look at power cleans. I need coaches to be able to see power cleans, be able to fix power cleans, right? We got to get better at this. It's something we got to improve on as a staff. Good? All right. Great. Next week, we got squat progressions. We'll teach you from the ground up how we teach a squat. Enjoy. See you later.